Hey, what's up, moneymakers? Welcome back to the channel. We are going to talk about Nio. Last 5 days was not the best week for Nio. $4.81. We were down 3%, but Friday was a pretty good day. We were up 8%. What I'm going to talk about today is JP Morgan lifts the price target for Nio stock amid the strong L90 sales. You've seen that the sales are strong. We're also going to talk about what is the price prediction and forecast for 2025. This is the latest forecast that came from analysts on August 14, and I want to talk about it. I also want to talk about what Nio is doing in terms of the revenue and what is the profitability and what is the net profit for Nio at the moment. You already know that the stock is going down, and there's a reason because there is no positive net income for the stock. But before we go there, we want to take a look at how we spiked on Friday. Take a look. We were at $4.56. We spiked up to all the way 481, and we were closed at 481, which is a good sign. Again, the day range was $4.55 and $4.82, which is pretty good as well. JP Morgan Chase has lifted the price target for Nio. We have seen that CT Group, they have reduced their stake in Nio, and then we saw a dip, and that's where the dip came from, right? Last week, so we were at almost $5. We dipped all the way to $4.40. The reason is negative sentiment. Before I go ahead, I just wanted to ask you to hit the like button so you get all these latest and greatest updates. I put in a lot of energy, time, and efforts in putting these videos together so you can make informed financial decision. In return, all I ask you is to hit the like button for YouTube algorithm so this video can reach to more and more people. Subscribe to the channel and don't forget that, and that will be a great motivation for me. Now, Nio stock has a volatile year. We all know that. The gain was almost 2% year to date. However, the stock surged 28% since July, and it fueled excitement around the mass market, and JP Morgan Chase as a result has raised the price target because of the strong delivery, as I mentioned, just for L90 SUV that was launched very recently, and they raised the price target for the stock price from $3.06 per share to $4.80, which is once again a pretty motivating news. Now, if you think about what is the price target for mid to long term, let's talk about this article where they have talked a ton of important updates. But in the tariff driven market, there's a volatility, especially when you're talking about Chinese stock. There is a lot of good momentum going on with China and United States. However, this electric company maker Nio, it has in April that fell to like $3.02, right? Because of all the volatility, including the tariff driven turbulence and uncertainty in the market. There was a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt. With that, we want to talk about what is the price target. This is defined by analysts. This is not defined by me. Here, let's take a look. In 2025, we are talking about by the end of December, $4.21, which is 9% down, which is the potential price point that analysts are targeting. So that is negative 8.9%. However, there is some good news. We are going to see 32% increase in 2026 based on this price forecast, which is again by the analyst $6.12, and there is a momentum. It's going to get more than double in 2027 from 2026, which is going to be $13.80, which is the price point target from, again, analysts. I do not have a crystal ball. I'm not a financial advisor. Do your own due diligence. But if you think about from $4 to $14, which is more than 3x, 4 times 3, 12. So we are looking at a pretty hefty price point in terms of the price target. Now, one thing I wanted to talk to you about why Nio is suffering at the moment is their operating income. Let's take a look right here. So this is the chart I want to show you. In 2018, we have seen that the price point was $5.39. The revenue was 4951.2, which is again in CNY. So this is not US dollars. Keep that in mind. All these numbers are not US dollars. They are CNY, right? So once again, we have seen the uptick in terms of the revenue in 2019, but our operating income was significantly down. Once again, let's take a look of 2020. Look at 2020. The price target or price point was $40, and we almost more than doubled the revenue, right? So this is revenue CNY. Our revenue in previous year was almost 8,000. We doubled, more than doubled, 16,257, but we did not really make good profit. Our operating income was negative still. And if you think about what we are doing in terms of the revenue, so it is more than triple in 2023. 55,617, right? But our operating income went down significantly, negative 22,655. Again, these numbers are in CNY mil, okay? So let's take a look. Let's remember that. One thing I want to tell you is these numbers reflect how well Nio does in terms of the in terms of the revenue as well as operating income. But with that, I want to talk about what is going on behind the scene. So this is the short interest for Nio, right? Like we have seen such a real spike in short interest at 48 million revenue, FINRA volume. Sorry, not revenue, but on the August 12th, we have seen that 48.5 million FINRA volume, and we had seen 60% short volume ratio. That dropped the price point to a significant level. So I wanted to tell you on August 12th, right? So which is right here. We were at $5.01 on August 12th. So we dipped to $4.47, which is when news came from Citigroup that they have reduced their stake when they filed the papers. However, after that, we had seen the downturn in terms of the short volume ratio. So let's take a look. 60%, we dropped down to 35, 55, 56, and 38% on August 15th. However, you also want to take a look at what is our volume looks like. So our volume on August 12th, which was a dip day, was 106 million when there was a heavy short selling happening, right? After that, our volume was 35 mil, then 43 million, and latest on Friday, a day before yesterday, when the week ended, we had seen a pretty good volume, 69 million. But the important thing is our short volume ratio was not that high, meaning we're getting back up in the game. Now, caution, as I tell you always, not for just Nio, but for any stock, you want to really be careful. Now, let's take a look what is happening in terms of the calls and put options, right? Now here, if you think about the price point, we are at 480. At $5, we are seeing pretty good volume and very good open interest. So 14,000 is the volume, 18, 19,000 is the open interest. After that, 3,700 is the volume, 5,900 is the open interest. So that's a good sign for calls. So Nio is standing towards the positive. Now, if you think about puts, the puts are not going to get a lot of, or it is at least at the moment, it is not looking a lot of interest. So for $4.50, we are seeing 3,100, 10,000. So there's a little bit of a momentum that the stock can go to $4.50. However, compared to what we see on the calls, it is not that big of a deal because calls has a lot more momentum, 14,000, 18,000 open interest at $5.50. People are being obviously cautious. 3,3700, which is our volume, and 5,900, which is our open interest. So let's take a look at the volume. Now the volume is doing pretty well. Now if the volume the volume stays consistent, right? And if we are seeing a little bit of a good news in terms of what they are doing with L90, it's going to uptick the price point. Once again, if the tariff related news is getting better, and if the market gets a better news from both United States and China that the tariff war is slowing down, that is going to also help. The third thing is next week we may see Jerome Powell might say something because the Fed meeting is coming up as well. But if you see right here, 139% volume that was up on Friday to 69.02 million versus the 65-day average of 49.5 million, which is again a good sign. I want to show you a chart how Nio Nio looks. So 501 on August 11 to 447, that was on August 12 when we had seen the deep and 60% short volume. After that, we started going up, but nowhere near to 501. So $5.01 is a pretty crucial price point that you want to keep in mind. So remember that. Again, going back to the chart, we had seen like for last 1 month, ups and down. Now we are trying, so this is a W is forming, right? So the W form is we went down, we then went back up, could not sustain. Again, $4.61. Take a look, $4.61. It can go really quickly to 444, and we can see that we can go back up. Now from this price point, we started going down, we go back up, we go back down, and now we have started going up. So next week is going to be crucial to think and figure out what is going on. So this is a W pattern for 1 month, right? We had seen a smaller W pattern once again for last 1 week, and this week is going to be crucial once again, I'm telling you, because of the calls and puts. We have seen good call activity. Call activity is going to push the price point up, but $5.01, it has hard time. See right here, $5.01, we drop down. $5.01, we drop down once again right here, and we started going back up. So my hunch is we'll go to 501 once again, $5.01, and we'll see where we go from there. But I want to once again remind you to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell if you haven't already. Our target price point based on this article, not a financial advisor, I don't have a crystal ball, is $6.12 for next year, and 2027 we are looking at almost $14, which is 3.25x from the current price point. I hope you like this video. I hope you enjoyed the content. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.